Welcome back, everyone, and thank you once again for joining me on this ongoing journey through the ever-changing, dynamic, and often unpredictable world of cryptocurrency. Every day in this space brings something new, whether it's a sudden market shift, a new partnership announcement, or simply a project that quietly keeps building in the background until one day it becomes impossible to ignore. Today's focus is exactly that type of project. It's not just another random altcoin drifting aimlessly on the charts, nor is it a meme coin living off hype and fading as quickly as it rose. What we're going to talk about today is Zebeck, ZBCN, a project that has been steadily accumulating momentum, working beneath the surface, and now seems to be positioning itself for something far bigger than most people expect. Before we dive in, let me make something crystal clear. This video, like all of my content, is for educational and informational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and nothing you hear here should be taken as financial or investment advice. The crypto market is volatile, unpredictable, and comes with significant risk. Always do your own research, consult with professionals when needed, and never invest money you cannot afford to lose. With that said, let's break this down step by step and see why Zebeck might be worth your close attention right now. If you've been around crypto markets long enough, you know that the most exciting runs often begin in silence. There's usually a quiet accumulation phase that happens before the explosive rallies. Prices move sideways, trading volumes are low, and the broader community seems uninterested. For many, this is the boring part of the market. The part that doesn't trend on Twitter, doesn't get covered by big influencers, and doesn't generate hype videos. But for seasoned investors, this phase is often where the groundwork is laid for the next big move. That's exactly where Zebeck finds itself right now. It's in that stage where the noise has died down. The hype from earlier announcements and developments has faded into the background, and many casual speculators have walked away. But beneath the surface, real building continues. The developers are still pushing updates, the ecosystem is still evolving, and long-term participants, the ones who actually believe in the vision, are quietly strengthening their positions. History shows that these moments are often where life-changing opportunities are hidden. The market ignores them, but patient holders are rewarded later. Think back to Bitcoin in 2015 or Ethereum in 2018. During those times, public interest was low, media coverage was minimal, and many people dismissed them as dead projects. Yet those who quietly accumulated during those phases reaped enormous gains when the next cycle came. Zebeck right now seems to be in a similar accumulation window, not flashy, not hyped, but quietly setting up for a potential breakout. One of the clearest indicators of long-term commitment in a crypto ecosystem is staking. Unlike speculative trading, where people can move in and out quickly, staking requires locking up tokens for a period of time. It signals confidence that the project will deliver in the future. And in Zebeck's case, the numbers are impressive. Over 5 billion ZBCN tokens are already staked. That's not just retail traders chasing a quick yield. That's a massive signal of trust. For that many tokens to be committed, the community must believe in the long-term vision of Zebeck. Staking isn't something you do unless you see potential growth and progress. It requires faith in the leadership, the roadmap, and the utility of the token. It also means that a huge portion of the circulating supply is locked away, reducing sell pressure and creating a healthier environment for price growth once demand kicks in. This is a critical point. Many projects struggle with constant sell pressure because holders dump tokens at the first opportunity. Zebeck's staking participation suggests that the majority of its community isn't just here for short-term speculation. They're betting on the future, and that speaks volumes. Leadership, hints, and strategic partnerships. Leadership matters in crypto. When founders and CEOs are silent, the community tends to lose confidence. But when leaders actively engage, hint at developments, and show confidence, it creates momentum. Zebeck's CEO Simon recently did exactly that. He hinted that big things are coming while tagging Uphold, a well-known digital asset platform. Now, this might seem small at first glance, but in crypto, small hints often lead to major speculation, and sometimes to major announcements. Uphold isn't just a random exchange. It's a platform with strong regulatory standing, millions of users, and a reputation for bridging traditional finance with crypto assets. A potential Zebeck Uphold integration could mean increased accessibility, liquidity, and exposure for ZBCN. But that's not all. Speculation has been building around Zebeck possibly entering partnerships with major sports leagues like the NBA and NHL. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's keep this realistic. It doesn't necessarily mean Zebeck logos plastered on jerseys tomorrow, but even modest entry points, like handling payroll for staff, streamlining vendor payments, or building crypto-based payment solutions for sports organizations, would be a monumental step forward. Professional sports have massive cultural and financial influence. A single integration with a major sports body could put Zebeck in front of millions of fans worldwide. It wouldn't just be about exposure, it would be about legitimacy. When mainstream organizations partner with a crypto project, it signals confidence and trust. And that's the kind of development that could catapult Zebeck into broader public awareness. In crypto, narrative is everything. It's not just about what the technology can do, it's about the story people believe in. Look at XRP during its peak. The narrative was that XRP could become the bridge currency for banks and financial institutions worldwide. Whether or not every single one of those partnerships was fully realized, the story itself was powerful enough to drive billions in market capitalization. People bought into the possibility, the what if, and that belief alone fueled massive momentum. Zebeck has the potential to develop a similar narrative. With its focus on real-time payroll, instant payments, and seamless financial flows, it offers a practical use case that anyone can understand. Imagine telling someone, this project lets workers get paid instantly instead of waiting 2 weeks. That's not abstract blockchain jargon. That's a simple, relatable problem with a clear solution. Add in potential sports partnerships, mainstream integrations, and payment innovations, and suddenly you have a story that resonates with people far outside the core crypto community. And that's how projects break out, not just through tech, but through stories that connect to real-world experiences. Zebeck's core vision, real-world solutions. At its heart, Zebeck is solving real problems. Payroll systems today are outdated. Most workers get paid weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. This delay creates unnecessary financial stress, especially for people living paycheck to paycheck. Imagine if instead you could be paid in real time, every hour, or even every minute you worked. That's the future Zebeck envisions. Beyond payroll, Zebeck is also looking at cross-border payments, another broken system. Traditional remittances are slow, expensive, and filled with middlemen. Zebeck's infrastructure could make sending money across borders instant and cheap. For families relying on remittances, that's life-changing. For businesses operating internationally, it streamlines operations and saves costs. And here's the key. These aren't speculative use cases. They're real-world needs that exist right now. That's what separates Zebeck from projects that chase hype without substance. Zebeck is focused on utility, not just speculation. One of the things I respect most about Zebeck is that it hasn't been chasing headlines every week. It's not trying to constantly pump its price with empty announcements. Instead, it's been quietly building. Sometimes in crypto, the loudest projects are the weakest. They spend all their energy on marketing instead of technology. But Zebeck's approach, steady development, strong staking participation, leadership engagement, and meaningful hints at partnerships, shows that it's playing the long game. This doesn't mean Zebeck will explode overnight. It means that the foundation is being laid carefully, which gives it a stronger chance of sustainable growth when the spotlight eventually shifts back. So, where does this leave us? The pieces are aligning. Strong staking numbers, showing long-term commitment, leadership signaling confidence, and hinting at major moves. Speculation around partnerships with sports leagues and Uphold. A clear, relatable vision focused on solving real-world financial problems. A community that remains engaged despite the lack of hype. Put all of this together, and Zebeck becomes a project worth watching closely. Nothing is guaranteed in crypto, but when you see a combination of vision, execution, and commitment, you can't just ignore it. The coming months will be critical. Will the hints materialize into partnerships? Will the narrative gain traction? Will the accumulation phase transition into expansion? These are the questions we'll be watching. At the end of the day, Zebeck is more than just another token. It's a project with real potential to reshape how people get paid and how money moves. It's still early, and the broader market hasn't woken up to it yet. But the signs are there. Now it's up to you to decide how you view these developments. So I want to hear from you. What do you think these big things could be? Are we talking about major sports organizations, new exchange integrations, or perhaps entirely new partnerships? Drop your thoughts in the comments because discussions like these are what keep the community alive and sharp. And remember, always do your research. Never follow hype blindly. But also don't ignore projects that are quietly building. Sometimes those are the ones that surprise everyone when the cycle turns. And finally, if you found value in today's video, if this gave you perspective, confidence, or just something to think about, then do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss these breakdowns. Share this with a friend who's interested in crypto because opportunities like this don't come around every day. And the more eyes we have on these plays, the stronger our community becomes. Stay disciplined, stay positive, stay focused, because the market rewards those who prepare, not those who chase. And as always, grow happy, my friends.